Good morning. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name is Jennifer. Thank you for joining this morning. I'm going to just invite you, if you're able, if you're not driving or doing anything that this would be dangerous, join me in just calming our body, inviting in spirit. Again, the purpose of this exercise at the beginning is to really just kind of try to get into that meditative state. If you think about it, it's that meditative state that Jesus lived in, trying to get in that energy, in that mindset that allows our energy to flow, right? A calm, a peace. We are energy, our bodies are energy, our mind is energy, our spirit is energy, God is energy. And so we're just trying to create an open channel where energy can flow. Okay. So in doing that, we want to release tension. We want to release stress. We want to release worry. And we can see that demonstrated in the life of Jesus. All through his life, he operated. He operated in a state of basically constant meditation, right? A constant meditative state. So deep breath, hold it in. If you feel you need to take a few of those breaths, please do. You might see me doing something with my hands. I'm rolling a crystal actually. These aren't magic. Crystals and stones aren't magic, but they are a part of creation that I believe have a divine intelligence built into them. And crystals and stones, they tend to be like antennas. They just help strengthen our energy connection. They help strengthen um, and yeah, strengthen our energy connection. So they help us be connected in that way. Spirit, we just invite you into this space with us. We ask that you join us for this message. Hmm. You did a little clearing of the throat, so maybe some throat chakra imbalance there, or a message maybe. We'll find out what comes through. Just asking only divine love and light is welcome in this space. So please join us and um, inspire us this morning. Thank you. Okay. Okay, something is going on there. So for those of my friends that aren't familiar with chakras, we've got 7 energy centers in our body. And spirit speaks to us through those energy centers. So if you all of a sudden start feeling aches, pains, or energy tingling things in different parts of our body, spirit's trying to communicate something to you. So it's a great time to just stop and listen. So we'll see what message comes through, but the fact that I've all of a sudden got this little flummy thing going on tells me something with the throat chakra. Um, but I am going to start by saying I got some feedback. We got some feedback on our one of our first Lotus in the Light videos. That's the goal of this YouTube channel, is to take comments, questions, things like that, and start peeling the layers back, right? And start learning and exploring together. It's really about exploration. Um, this whole life is just a journey of exploration and discovery. And so that's what we're doing here. It's a safe space to do that. You can have differing ideas than me. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's perfect because we're allowed, when we can be vulnerable to be our true selves and express who we are and where we are in our journey, that creates a safe space for us to continue to blossom and grow. So I do not say that everything I say is right. It's what I feel spirit inspiring me to share. Um, and people can't understand, a lot of times we get tunnel vision and we think there's one singular truth, or one singular, um, I'll just leave it at that, one singular truth. But the reality is that spirit knows what we need, knows what we need to hear, knows what we need to learn. And um, there are different religions for a reason. They all serve a purpose. They all help us in our journey, and we need to just embrace that, but also be open. So I love it whenever I have a negative feeling. Now I love it whenever I have a negative feeling because it's like, ooh, there's something I need to look into. But I will say, The first feedback that I've gotten so far came on Facebook, so you won't even see it in our YouTube channel because I posted my YouTube post to my personal Facebook page, and somebody in my personal network commented. And a lot of my personal network comes from the Christian background, so the response energetically felt like a fear response to me. So I won't put words in that person's mouth by any means. They said a lot of words, so their words are there to be understood the way you understand them. But energetically, the feeling I got was fear. That to me, centered around this idea that if we don't believe certain narrow interpretations of scriptures, that we're not connected to God, that we're not protected by God. Um, and I just simply don't believe that. And that is not, I don't believe it because it's not my experience. I'm very much protected by God, very much connected to God, and do not fully align with, and there's many interpretations. So I've been there. I've been there where I think I've got it right, and I feel sadness for other people who I think, so I don't know that this was this person's thought process, but when I would feel sadness and sorrow for other people because their beliefs didn't align with mine, that sadness was coming from an idea that we are here in this life and it's a courtroom. It's a figure this out, or there's this judgment that's going to happen that's going to lead to a less than ideal eternal outcome, which is heartbreaking. Now, it's not heartbreaking, actually. It's the opposite. Now I just understand that everybody, um, the belief systems we have are just part of our journey, and they're guiding us um, through to help us learn and grow through the things we need to learn and grow through. So that's great. I am so thankful that those people have that the people that have those beliefs have those beliefs. I used to have those beliefs. I have different beliefs now, and somebody else is probably looking at me thinking that's beautiful. I don't believe that anymore, but whatever. So the what's most important is that we give space for those beliefs. And we can do that with the assurance that we are still loved and protected by God, even if we're getting it wrong. What kind of God do we serve that wouldn't allow the space for us to grow and learn? So when we react with fear, it is Spirit's way of challenging us and saying, here's something, because God does, fear is not a tool of God, period, ever. That is not part of God's toolkit. God's toolkit is love, joy, peace, right? So God will allow, and maybe I should rephrase that. Fear is in God's tool. God doesn't cause the fear. But as scripture teaches us, God will use all things to our good, right? So when we have negative feelings, emotions, and that's when I say negative feelings, it could be the form of emotions. It also could be the form of like physical negative feelings, right? When you feel a pain somewhere, but also feelings, and most importantly, feelings, because the heart center is how God is speaking to us, is where that communication is coming through. So when we feel something negative, it's saying, we're out of alignment with our soul. We're out of alignment with God. It gives us something to examine when we're in the right heart and mind space to examine it. And that's when we're able to grow. When we try to, oh my gosh, sorry, had a timer going and I misread that. So apologies. I thought I had been rambling on for way longer than I have. I was like, okay, it's time to button this up. And maybe that's what Spirit's saying. Maybe it is time to button this up. Okay. So I guess I have even lost my train of mind. Uh, but listening to our body is really critical. As you heard, the throat, there was a message there, and I actually know what it is now. I used to do post messages on Facebook occasionally, and sometimes even videos about different biblical topics. And I would get negative responses like I did with this initial um, Lotus in the Light post, pushing back. And I used to have a negative feeling about that feedback. I would say, I felt called to post it, but yet, what did I say wrong? Why didn't they get it? What could I have done different? And so what that negative feeling was doing is it was helping me discover limited beliefs that I had about myself. It was revealing to me I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I spoke well enough. I would spend hours and hours and hours preparing things to say and rehearsing it so that I would say it beautifully and it would flow effortlessly and you would think I was so smart and intelligent. And then I would get a negative feedback and be like, what do I do with this? So anyway, I was taking it as a critique on me and something I was doing wrong, as opposed to, no, this is people are at different places in their journey, and these words are helping to inspire us to think more broadly. They don't have to agree. That's fine. But it's expanding their mind. It's opening their mind to different ideas. And that's how I've gotten to where I've gotten. I would hear and read thoughts and ideas, and I would say, "Oh, that's interesting. That might be true." Or, "Oh, yeah, that definitely doesn't ring true." Or, "Oh, that scares me." And then that would be something I would know. The second something scares me, I'd look deeper because that tells me there might be a kernel of truth in it that is rattling my current belief system. And that kernel of truth might just bust something wide open. And here's the thing, we fear looking deeper, but there's no reason to fear that. Look deeper. You're not going to be punished for that. Would you punish your children? And I can even say with my own experience, I remember one of my kids, we were deeply rooted in the church, and they started watching videos on atheism. And I said to them, listen, I don't want to stop you from exploring. You need to form your own belief system. That's fine if you want to watch those videos. You just also need to do it while going to church because I need to make sure that you are also hearing what I believe the truth to be. Again, acknowledging that I don't know all things either, but this is what I believe to be truth. As your parent, I feel like it's my duty to make sure you're hearing that as you're exploring these other things. That's simple. And then you've got to release and give people the freedom to learn and grow. When we have the freedom to learn and grow, when we can be vulnerable and bring our walls down and have the space to be both believe something different and still be loved and still be honored, man, we really blossom. Okay, I have no idea what I said in this message. I feel like I was all over the place, but I'm going to close this out with a card. And hopefully, spirit will bring this all, put a bow on it. I'm hoping. I'm going to go again with the spirit animal oracle because it just feels like what's right for this group. And so at some point, maybe some message, maybe that'll change. But for this one, that's where we're at. And sorry that did not, those didn't flip. So we just got hung up. Okay. So we'll wait for a card to pop out here. And I never really brought closure to what I was saying about the throat chakra. So I I have been able to work through, not that it doesn't creep up a little bit. Like when I first read that message yesterday, there was like an instant like tension in my body, sign that I'm out of alignment with spirit. As soon as I feel tension about, oh, I don't like what that says, then I had to say, oh, spirit, reveal the truth to this about me. Why do I feel this way? And again, it was coming back to some of those negative self-beliefs. There's no reason to feel negative about that comment. Absolutely none. I love that they're confident in what they believe. It's a beautiful thing. So it's a beautiful thing that we can have different beliefs. This one wanted to pop out. Okay. Starve. Oh my gosh. I love it when spirit does this. Starfish spirit. Open to the infinite possibilities. Okay. This is it. Be open. Don't close yourself off out of fear. Okay. Be willing to explore things. There's not a punishment waiting for you because you're asking questions. It's just an opportunity for God to reveal themselves to you, right? For God to show you what that truth really is. But if we say, no, I've been taught that this thing over here is the truth, and I'm going to stick to that, that comes from a place of not feeling safe. You are safe. God has got your back. Just remember, ask God, close your eyes, protect me while I explore this. God will do that. Okay, so starfish open to the infinite possibility. 59 breaks down to a 5. So 59 breaks down to a 5. 9 and 5 is 14. That's a 4 and a 1. So that breaks down to a 5. 59 does. 5 is about transformation. 5 is about transformation. So if you're hearing this message and you've made it this far, you're in a process of transformation. We always are, right? But that this message is about that transformation for you. Okay, the oracle message, remember there's two. The oracle message, stretched out on the beach, the starfish opens fully to the rays of the sun, to the power of potential. As you look outward onto the horizon, do you open up to infinite possibility? Spirit is the source of opportunities beyond your wildest imagination and ensures endless possibilities are available. At this time, Starfish urges you to stretch past the limits of your everyday perception and comfort zone to dream of bigger things and imagine with even greater hope and faith, for miraculous potential is shining down on you. Feel it, bask in it, and open yourself to be filled with inspiration. This is a very fortunate sign that Starfish Spirit has come to remind you of your infinite potential. The possibilities are unlimited. We've just got to be open. When cynicism, this is the protection message. So this is kind of the shadow side of starfish. When cynicism says no, starfish spirit says yes 1,000 times over. Are you willing to entertain new possibilities? Are you limiting your goals in order to be realistic and cutting yourself off from the power of dreaming big? Let go of your rigid beliefs about what is possible for you and let Starfish Spirit inspire you to open your heart and your eyes to what Spirit has available to you. Now is a time to stretch beyond the familiar and unfurl yourself, for you are meant for more than you are imagining for yourself. There's my third again. Spirit wants the best for you and will support you in achieving whatever intention you hold dear. So I think that's funny that my throat chakra started acting up again at the end here, because for me, the limitless possibilities only come when I overcome the fear that I have about being able to articulate things well, the fears that I have that is my message coming through. Like I always fear that my mind's racing and I'm not articulating things well. But if I can calm the mind, focus on the heart, spirit has a message. And I just have to trust that whatever spirit wants to come through is coming through. I have to overcome, allow the energy to flow through that throat chakra again, be open, and then the possibilities are endless. Okay, that's true for you too. So set your fears aside if you can and explore what God's got in store for you. Thanks. Thanks for joining Lotus in the Light. Peace out.